1 week later, outside Onoji village. That doesn't feel so good, Naruto mumbled as the trio walked down the road. Haku was on his left, Winter's scythe over her shoulder, and Kurama walked on his right. The emotions are volatile, Haku agreed. A large group of surrounding a much smaller group. The massive one is exuding murderous intent, while the other one is a cross of fear and anger. So, the resident Yoko said, "It's a fight then, right outside Oni village." "Yes," Naruto said, "7 signatures holding off very many signatures. Most of the bigger group feels like bandits. They must be the samurai and puppeteers Yotsuki mentioned," Haku said, as they saw the village being seized by a large group when they rose over the hill. "I do believe this would be a wonderful time to help out, don't you?" Kurama asked, as Crimson's eyes turned black with 9 red arms curving out from the pupil. Seconds earlier, magnet-style electromagnetic pulse jutsu, a ravenette woman wrapped in a tan cloak, not unlike those common in Wind Country, shouted as she held the ram seal. Her hair was done, 2 large hoop shapes on either side of her face and 2 piercing steel ones observed the battlefield as she thrust her hands forward. A valley of arrows headed towards her group suddenly stopped before being sent in random directions. "Kasan, look out!" a boy of about 13 shouted as he moved his fingers, and a 10-foot snake of steel moved to wrap her up, protecting her from a large boulder headed her way. The boy had spiky red hair of the pale shade common in Suna, crimson eyes, and pale skin, while he wore a matching cloak to his mother. Another woman appeared just above the redhead with a katana and dressed in samurai armor, as she blocked a large warhammer wielded by a bandit before kinking the man and beheading him. She had raven hair and a loose ponytail and black eyes. "Careful, Kazaijin-kun." "Sorry, Kyoshi-sensei." He apologized and moved his hand to command chakra strength to redirect Zenbone from a shinobi among the crowd into hitting the village. The flow of battle suddenly halted as a large force bore down on everyone present, an energy that seemed to exude power. At the center of 7 who protected Onoji village, a black swirl appeared and released 3 individuals. "Well, this looks like fun," Kurama said. "Who are you?" And another of the samurai, this one who had Kiyosushi's hair and eyes, but was of a large build, and held a sambutu which resembled a cleaver. "Uzi Maki Naruto, at your service," Naruto said easily, as he pulled a Kubiri Bocho from his back, bandages automatically undoing themselves. "Ryotsuki and Yotsuki told us we could find 5 samurai here, but instead we find an army of bandits and shinobi. Let's show them the wrath of the Uzumaki clan," Naruto-kun, Haku said, as she heard his thoughts and spun the winter scythe in her hands before slamming the staff and onto the ground. "Ice-style divine tundra, ninja art, ice fields." "Yes, let's." Naruto held his Zabuto and slashed downward with seals glowing. Ninja art, steel rain, and just like that, a wave of kunai flew outwards, slamming into some bandits. He then held his sword out horizontally for Haku to jump on it. "Foxfire stream," she shouted, spitting out purple fire as her scythe forced ice to form around it. She created a morning star and it slammed into another bandit, exploding in needles of fire and ice to kill surrounding men. She jumped high and slashed her scythe. Freezing winds. Several slashes of wind traveled down and cut into over a dozen men, freezing their bodies into ice sculptures while Naruto ran forward. A shinobi, one formerly of Kiri, if his Hittite was to be trusted, came with an axe in his hands to kill the teen. Naruto's blade became coated in wind chakra and he slashed right through the steel blade before cutting into the man's chest. As soon as the blade touched his sword, he glowed red with seals lighting up. Time to test my new move, Naruto mumbled. He had learned a thing or two from the scroll the Gohai siblings gave him. Ninja art, blood style, needle storm. Ninja art, blood style, needle storm. As Naruto slashed horizontally, nearly 100 needles of blood shot from the crimson liquid he had gathered on his cleaver like a blade as they stabbed into the crowd, and more blood sprayed from their wound as they fell, as dead as the first man. Haku landed right next to Naruto then. I do believe that is your cue, Sensei. The two said at once. In a swirl of flames, said Demoness appeared, distinctive red energy surrounding her body. Quicker than any of them could follow, she was gone. And multiple men had blood erupt from their bodies before flames enveloped them. Seeing the danger these new foes presented, many of the bandits turned tail, with the shinobi among them cursing. In doing the same, the trio smiled to themselves as Haku forced the snowy landscape to disappear by her will, while Naruto allowed bandages to wrap back around his sword and placed it on his back. That was amazing, the boy known as Kazejin said in awe as he walked into the group of 6 adults, his metallic snake puppy gone, probably sealed away. Did you say your name was? Kuchi began. Muzumaki Naruto, son of Uzumaki Kushina, he replied. And the Gohai twins sent you. A samurai with dark skin, brown eyes, white hair, and armor, holding a sickle and chain asked. His physique gave the trio an expression. He was trained for speed and precision. Yeah, Ryutsuki said to tell you the whirlpool, the bloodied and stained, is healing. It shall flow fully once more. And suck up all who once tried to stop it, Naruto replied. Fukai, Koyoshi breathed. If they gave that message, the one who appeared to be her brother nodded. Why did they not come? Fukai asked. They remained in Uzu. As it stands, only the first ring is open, and even it has bodies and destruction. They agreed to stay and clean, as did the citizens of Wave. Wave? As in Wave Country, the dark-skinned man asked. Yes, I do. I am Yami. Well, Yami, I convinced the citizens of Wave to return to Uzu and make the civilian population of the hidden village. If such a thing is true, you may very well be the true prince of Ushio, lost to our hated enemy who once was called friend, the Leaf. Uzuiki. Actually, Naruto replied, it's sort of a long story, and those bandits may return. Might we be able to go inside? Of course, Uzumaki-sama, Fukai said. Please come inside. Yami, Yomai, please stand guard. Yami and another man nodded. The other was a platinum blonde man with gray eyes, built with long like arms, who held a strange staff with a ninjato length blade at both ends over his right shoulder. After 10 minutes later, the remaining 3 samurai, 2 puppeteers, 2 bonded, and demoness were seated in a large room, each with cups of tea in them. Would you care to begin? The woman who was Kazejin's mother asked. First introductions, Naruto stated. I'm Uzumaki Naruto, as I said before. To my right is my sensei Kurama, and to my right is Yuki Haku, who is my, what is the term, sensei? Haku-chan is your soul-bound, my little kin. Soul-bound, Fuki said. I explained, well, I am Fukai. To my left is my twin sister Yoshi, And my right is Hachiga. Hachiga was just as dark as Yami with the same exact looks except he had a pineapple ponytail and wore katana on his back. The other here, Yami, Hachiga's twin brother and my sister's husband, Juome. I'm Saboku no Hana, the female puppet master said, and my son here is Akasuna no Kazejin. Akasuna, Haku mumbled before her eyes widened, as in Sasori. Kazan's eyes narrowed at the mere mention of that name. Don't compare me to my worthless deadbeat father, Kazejin demanded. He abandoned my mother and me. I would hate his slimy guts if his wooden body even had any, right? Kurama said. As for our tale, Naruto-kun, well, where should I start? I thought Kushina Hime was in Konoha, Hana asked. She was, Naruto said. She died 13 years ago when Kurama here was ripped from the seal and forced to rampage under a genjutsu cast by Uchiha on the night of my birth. You're the QB? Ichiga asked, and Kurama nodded. This is my human form. Suddenly her form was covered in purple fire before a pair of fox ears and 3 foxtails appeared on her body. Would this form help you remember? You have only 3 tails, Fukaki questioned. That was part of a deal she made with me on my 5th birthday after I was beaten by a mob of civilians in Konoha. Kurama I met and made a deal. Her end of the bargain was to give me 4 of her tails on my 12th birthday. The other 2 tails she is missing went to me. Haku spoke up. A few weeks ago, I was nearly killed by Naruto-kun's former sensei, and he healed me with a Hell-style technique. The Hell-style healing of 9 hells, Kurama said. In short, Naruto and Haku now share lives, soul, memories, chakra, and other things. They are bonded so closely they are now only able to use one term to describe it. Soulbound, Hana remarked. Then would that not make Haku our princess? I suppose it would. Kurama replied, I never thought of it like that, especially after that thing at the Wave Festival they threw for my kid. Naruto and Haku immediately blushed. What happened? Kazeji asked curiously. The adults in the room grinned, already guessing. I do hope your relationship with Haku Hime flourishes, Naruto-sama, Ryoshitsuki said with a slight grin, unable to resist teasing the 2 on such an occasion. I'm confused. Kaseji frowned. Oh, I'll tell you, Kurama said. My kid here and his vixen went on a date at the festival, and it was so cute. They had dinner together, then a walk on the beach. Naruto won Haku a cute stuffed fox for Haku-chan, and then at the very end, before they went to bed, Naruto and Haku shared the first Kurama. They yelled at her with bright blushes. Fine. The gossipy vixen said. She crossed her arm under her breast. You two ruin all my fun. Kasejin seemed to have gotten the idea, though, and had a small blush of his own. When did you leave Konoha? Fukaki decided to help out the young couple by changing the subject right after I healed Hakuhime. Naruto corrected himself. He felt more satisfied in the blush she experienced than he should have. Then we left Wave and went and met Yoriyui Rendan 2 weeks later. After that, we headed to Uzu and met a decision. Uzushio died when the invasion took place. Haku said in Naruto's place. She knew all his thoughts just as well as she knew her own. So Naruto-kun decided to rename the village in order to keep the memory of the siege alive. If we had kept on going with Uzushio, it would be as if no one ever died. I never thought about that, Ryoshi whispered, which is why, as the prince and one of the 2 live in with DNA of both the Uzumaki and Yuhi, it was renamed Uzuyuki, just like the village was originally named. How the village was originally named for the Uzumaki clan who found it. The logic is very sound, Hana said. I assume there is a very good reason you are here, Naruto-sama, Hachi asked. There is. We need the other 7 keys. He said Yoshitsuki told me that Your group would know how to locate the keys. Was he correct? Fuju said. Fuju sighed. I'm sorry, Naruto-sama, we can only lead you to one, he said. The guardians are organized in hearts. Hearts? Naruto asked. They are cells made of 3 individuals or groups who act as a single unit. Each heart has 3 units who know one another. The heart we are a part of includes the Gohai brothers and a guardian of the blade called Tojin and Naki. Which blade does he have? Naruto asked. Nuebari, the sewing needle. We are a member of his heart, but the other is unknown to us. Do you know how this works now? The entirety of the Guardians are a large chain, Naruto Haku realized, which means Mei must have been the other member of Ryotsuki and Yochu's heart. Tomorrow, Mei, Hana asked. I was wondering how Mei's other cellmate was. You're a guardian too? Naruto asked Hana of what. I'm a guardian of soul and am in charge of keeping this safe. Hana placed the blue diamond cut sapphire necklace on the table. It's called the Kyoku and allows the wearer to access the memories of their ancestors. Kami-sama, Haku breathed. That is amazing. Naruto-sama, it is yours. Hana said, but Naruto shook his head. Pardon? He took the necklace and looked at Haku. I think Haku Hime should have it. Naruto-kun, you are much more responsible than I am. You are more experienced than I am. Faster, smarter, and on top of that, it would match your eyes beautifully. Haku blushed as Naruto placed the amulet around her neck. Arigato, Naruto-kun. Kawaii, Kurama squealed. So adorable. That's the fearsome Kyubi no Yoko, Kaiji whispered to his mother. Hana smiled at the scene, though. I would like to ask a favor of you, though, Naruto-sama, Fukai said, gaining the prince's attention. That band of rogues will likely be back soon. Would you much mind aiding us in the battle sure to come? Naruto, Haku, and Kurama looked at each other and smiled in Haku's case or smirked in the case of the other two. Trading opportunity, if I ever saw one, the demoness spoke, wherein the Uzuyuki couple answered as one.